Hey there, horror fiends, and welcome to yet another new episode of TV Terrors. Now, a lot of the TV terror episodes are episodes of Tales from the Crypt or episodes of Tales from the Dark Side. Well, you know what? I'm wearing a shirt of a great 90s cartoon from my childhood, so I thought that this episode of TV Terrors would be about another 90s childhood show, but not Courage the Cowardly Dog, sadly, but no, a Nickelodeon show that many of you 90s kids will remember called Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yes, the very first Are You Afraid of the Dark review. Now, if any 90s kids remember Are You Afraid of the Dark, or you were the privileged kids that had Nickelodeon, Are You Afraid of the Dark was a kids' horror anthology show similar to the vein of Tales from the Crypt, but instead of a cackling, rotten corpse with bad but lovable horror puns telling the scary stories, it was a group of kids and preteens gathering around a campfire telling spooky stories to each other called the Midnight Society. And every single episode, a new kid from that group would tell a different scary story, and that would always be called the tale of this or the tale of that. Now, granted, this show actually had some damn creepy and effective moments to it. It was actually a well-made show, even though it had the sort of, cheapness of a Canadian-made television show of the 90s. Oh yeah, this was actually a Canadian-made show, just in case you didn't know that. But it did have a fucking atmospheric, eerie as hell opening intro to the show that even still gives me shivers to this day. I mean, look at this shit. That fucking Jack in the Box thing creeped the shit out of me every single time, and it still kind of does a little. Ugh. Anywho, a lot of websites and a lot of fellow millennials or later millennials in their late 20s, early 30s, like me, will tell you that the best episode is the one of the first episodes, Tale of the Laughing in the Dark, the fucking clown episode. Everybody remembers, and everybody can't shut the fuck up about. Well, you know what? My first review of an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode is not going to be that fucking overrated clown episode. No, it will instead have nothing to do with clowns. No. This time I'm reviewing the episode Tale of the Water Demons. A waterlogged, ghosty zombie episode, yes. So, Tale of the Water Demons concerns a preteen kid named Sean, who's a troubled, kind of a little bastard of a kid who has to go stay with his uncle and his cousin in a little seaside town with nothing to do for the summertime, and help him and his cousin both get a call to go make a delivery to the old creepy old sailor's house. They go to the sailor's house, sneak in while Sean is talking about stealing some of the man's priceless treasures that he's collected from sunken shipwrecks over the years. They run into the old man, and the old man is frightened, saying, "Oh my God, I'm just glad I'm awake." And they ask him what, and so the old man, who clearly seems crazy, tells him that he's stolen the treasure from a sunken ship close by, a sunken yacht. And whenever he goes to sleep for the past 3 years, they will come and try to get him. But whenever he wakes up, they disappear. So he's made it so that every single time he goes to sleep, he only goes to sleep for a little bit until he can hear them arriving to his door, and then he wakes up again. Of course, the kids don't believe him. So what happens is Sean actually steals one of the old man's treasures. And so the waterlogged ghouls back from the dead actually come to haunt Sean himself. And there's some really cool scenes with the fog and the lightning. It almost feels like a weird early 90s zombie film, if you can remember some of those. It's a really fun sequence. So at the end, Sean, his cousin, and the old sea captain try to make amends with the waterlogged ghouls coming back for revenge by giving up something equivalent to what he's stolen, since some of what he stole in the past he wasn't able to replace, wasn't able to retrieve. So they think they do this when finally Sean is the one who has to come to terms with what he did, gives them back to the waterlogged things. I'm just going to call them things, or ghouls or whatever. Gives them back and learns his lesson. So it ends with the sort of message of owning up to what you've done and personal responsibility. So, yeah, it was a kid's show, so it should have messages in them sometimes, not all the time, but still. Now, what's fun about this episode is it's a cool little spooky little episode for the summertime, or even you can even enjoy it in your Halloween time. It's the zombie episode of the show, but these zombies is different because they're waterlogged, they're slimy, there's always this fog that appears right next to them, and they're out for revenge to try because you stole something from them. It's pretty much the Are You Afraid of the Dark version of John Carpenter's The Fog. And it's a fun little episode that more Are You Afraid of the Dark fans, especially fellow millennials, need to check out instead of the fucking clown episode that they or the ghastly grinner episode that they always fawn over in so many different damn articles that bugs the shit out of me. So again, guys, check out this episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark. I think you're gonna like it.
Good story.
All right.
That still doesn't get you off the hook for the diary.
Lay off, Frank.
So I put one over on you.